Well, hello. Yes, it's the old git. Yes, I'm here. Uh, Another rant, and oh, the phone started binging already. But never mind. Another rant from the old gits, and it's got to be about Andy Burnham because he's the topic of choice, the person that I can rant about free and easy. Because for me, the man is a complete waste of time, and he showed that. He went off on holiday. I mean, if you're voted into the top job in the country as the Prime Minister of England, it's a great privilege in the first place, and it requires dedication. You don't close Parliament and swan off on a holiday just after, you've been elected. And even so, more so for this man, because he's come from nowhere. He's been parachuted into that job as Prime Minister, and he seems to be taking the mickey out of it. Now, the question is this, and this is what I'm going to concentrate on today with this man. So basically, I really do think that he is he's not going to do a good job for the country. Now, all my socials are down there, zipping along the bottom. Get in touch with me, send me a message or whatever it is, carrier pigeon. And the old gets having his rant because I'm allowed to. I'm an old man. I've seen a lot changed in this country, in the UK. In fact, the changes forced me to leave. But there you go. So let's see. Andy Burnham, I think, wants to be a celebrity more than a prime minister. Andy Burnham have sort of heavily created a social media presence now since he's become the I can't even say it, the Prime Minister. His social media presence, and it's sort of like social first strategy led by and what that means is he wants to communicate through social media. He doesn't like to be in front of people answering questions because I think he tells little white lies. Well, big little white lies. I mean, critics sort of labelled him the UK's first influencer prime minister. Well, he's not influencing many people. He started off and he's got to bounce straight in, and he's actually, Labour actually, or he's in front of reform. The first time in the last year that reform has been below anybody. But that's because he's new and people think he's a wonderful man. I can tell you he isn't. Anyway, though he has achieved his long-held political ambition of entering 10 Downing Street, right, the first thing he does, he moves it up north to 10, number 10 north. I don't know, just seems foolish to me. It's this celebrity thing, I think that's what it is. He doesn't want to work in London because he's a bit inferior, I think. He entered, when he was in Manchester as the mayor, which he resigned from and stood at make. Well, you know the history, we don't want to go there. When he first took over in Manchester, Greater Manchester as the mayor, they had a debt of about £930 million. When he left, the debt was 1.34 billion. That to me tells me that the man doesn't handle things very well and spends too much of other people's money. He's just announced his UK celebrity listening tour. Now, what's that all about? I think what that is basically is another way of getting on a bus, because it's the only thing he's ever done is put bus fares down. And this celebrity tour is going to go a city near you, and he's supposed to go there to be listening. He should already know what people want. He shouldn't have to tour. People are saying it every day. He's supposed to be on social media and influence it. He can see what's going on social media. He doesn't need to tour the country, but he does because it's this persona. He says, look at me, I'm a celebrity. Yes, Andy Burnham. That's all he's ever wanted, you know. And then on the tour, he's going to listen to what people want. And he should already know that. Offering wonderful trinkets to people of the UK, like lower bus fares and wow, only £2 instead of £3. You know, stupidity. It's like Christopher Columbus got off and gave trinkets to the Indians when he got into America. The same thing, you know, same sort of strategy. And he's going to cut VAT on electricity. Wow. And Burnham announced that the 5% VAT on domestic electric bills will drop to 0. It doesn't matter. The bills are so high and there's going to be another price hike anyway. Whatever he takes off with his left hand, he's going to, or take up, whatever he gives with his right hand, he's going to take off with his left hand. And starting in October, apparently, anyway, saving households about £45 a year. Yippee! No, I don't think so. I think it's a complete, you know, it's a complete smoke and mirrors way of doing things. He's got to not having to sit in an office and travel round on his little battle bus and go all over the country, supposedly listen to people. But anyway, what else is he going to do? Oh, about business rates as well. He's pledged a 20% cut in business rates for local pubs and music venues. Well, I'm going to tell you something else. He's just vying to get some gigs, I think. That's not going to help them too much because the price of everything and the employing staff and all the rest of it, that 20% means nothing. But you know, he thinks he's doing well. He doesn't. He hasn't got a clue. I believe the man doesn't have a clue. Now, he advocates for local public control of the water and energy, similar to the Greater Manchester Bus franchise model. Supporting and bringing the debt-laden Thames water under government control. He couldn't run a tap, this bloke. Never mind run a water company. I mean, and what else is going on with the man? What else? Things that, you know, he's just got to get a grip of. I mean, sorry, we didn't mean to play that. We play this one. And of course, he wants to know what people are talking about. Well, here we got a good example here. He won't be talking about this, though, will he? Migrants flooding into the country. No, they're all engineers and doctors who love our country, or are too many of them rapists and murderers? Well, you decide. You see what's happening in the country. You know, it's not just in England that this is good. They are terrorizing the whole of Europe. They're coming from these backward cultures, and there's murder, rape, stealing, and they're completely out of control. And for the love of it, you're paying for it all. And no, Andy, you don't want to stop these people because he wants to be a nice man. He wants to put them all in the leafy roads, you know, where the middle class lives. You want to put them there. Yes. So there's an HMO coming closely to you very soon. Not only will you be paying for them and going out to work in the morning, you'll be listening to them, playing their music and having a great time while you go out to work and support them. And they'll be in your street. Wonderful. Because that's the future. That's what it is with a span. Free housing, free healthcare, free education, free benefits, free phones, free money. We'll look after you. I mean, the boats now are getting big. I know about 120 people on one of these boats now. You know, that costs the government another 1.5 million a year for just the ones that came in this last week. Or more even, I don't know. And I just think he is more interested in being a celebrity. He, you know, that's what he's all about. And he's just the false king. You can imagine Andy Burnham arriving in a city near you while serving as mayor in Greater Manchester. Burnham regularly played DJ sets at local nightclubs. I mean, how serious is that? You know, his claim to fame is being a DJ. Yeah, and he'll probably be performing in a town soon near you. So for bookings, if you want to book the great DJ Andy Burnham, you'll have to apply to number 10 North, and Andy Burnham and Westminster Good Time Girl Angela Rayner come as a double act. Oh yeah. Do you want? I tell you what, I'll play you a little bit of their show reel, see, so you know what you're getting for your money. And I'm telling you, I might be joking, but this man, as like the Greens leader, who's now come up, he's got his comeuppance, I think. What's his name? Zach Polanski is also a attention seeker. I want to be looked at. I want to be liked. I want to be on top. I want to be an actor, a singer, anything to give me celebs. Couldn't make it in the real world, so they're in politics. And I think Andy Burnham is cut from the same cloth in many ways. Let's have a look, just for a bit of fun, at Andy Burnham and Angela Rayner's show reel that they will be offering you this kind of entertainment. Oh, he can dance, can't he? He's an old man dance like me. Go on, lad. Yeah, Andy Burnham, the good time man, eh? How about that, eh? With the sidekick Angela Rayner, the good time girl of Westminster, who's back in a seat somewhere and, you know, getting good money for doing Sweet FA. But seriously, this man is just another, and I'm being serious now, another Fabian, leading on from the one before, who is in the process of destroying the UK in many ways, as his predecessor did. And as my old mum used to say, he's all fur coat and no knickers. Believe me, folks, the clock is ticking. You have the country that's on its knees. The world is laughing at you, okay? And it's like this idiot here comes round as if he's some kind of big time celeb. He's done nothing in his life except fail. And if you go and look at his history, I'm not lying, he's failed the grooming gang inquiry. 80,000 Greater Manchester police were put in special measures because they failed to deal with 80,000 crimes. And he shrugged his shoulders, had nothing to do with the grooming gangs, as you all well know. What else? ULEV, he was going to put the cameras all around Manchester, spent 100,000, and what did he do? He cancelled it. He's sitting on a pile of cameras now, and he's not going to use. The man's failed. He's not done anything. The only thing he's done is put the price of bus tickets down. Wow. He said he was going to stop rough sleeping. He's not done that. Go to Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester and have a look what's going on there. Lawlessness. Drink, drugs, stealings, stabbings. You know, this is the man who's running the country now. This is the man who prefers to go on holiday. Yeah? And have a good time. And you'd think he'd jump into the job and get on with it. But people are worried about, I think, one of the number one priorities is the migrant situation. Number two is the economy. And number three is this power thing. What's the word they use for, you know, net zero crap. Yeah, people are worried about this because it's taking money out of their pockets. And they can't afford to be taxed anymore. They can't afford the great big bill for social services. They can't afford it. It's they're just borrowing money, and like they did in every other time that the Labour Party got into power, they left with they got the country being bankrupt. Okay, so the country's on its knees, and you know, you've got to understand that the whole world is laughing. Okay, is laughing. We're facing threats from all sides, actually, from Russia, from China, Islamists, which is the biggest threat, and just a question of who attacks first. So I believe it's time to act. And I believe that every town that he visits, what he should be greeted with is this, you know. Send them home. Send them home, you know. He stands there with his arms, well, I'm just a clown. Everybody, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, pink, green, yellow. You're affected. We have great people that live in the country, and they're trying to divide us. The only thing that's going over the whole of Europe right now, that's destroying everything, is this Islamism. Sikhs fit in, Hindus fit in, Chinese fit in, Zoroastrians fit in, black people, they fit in. They follow closely their religions, and they seem to get on. They intermarry, they go out and do the same things that the white indigenous people did, which there's not many of them. Only 42% of the population in London now is white. And the biggest thing that I've really has got stuck in my craw, and I'm going to say this the way it is, he wants to do this devolvement where, you know, he's going to give more power to the mayors. Well, we've already seen what one mayor could do with power, which is Sadiq Khan. He can destroy the way of life that they've had for hundreds of years there by pandering to one group more than others. He will say he isn't, but just go and look for yourself. You try and go down Mile End Road, and or, you know, and girls who wear miniskirts walk down there, see what happens. Or try and walk through and do like they used to do on the Sundays at the Sunday school. We used to go out with a band and walk with the cross down the streets. Try and do that in East London. You can't. Okay? This is what's happening to your country, and he wants to give Lord Mayors more power. Well, I'm going to give you a scenario right now, and I don't think you're going to like what I'll say. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it back to here, so you can see this man. And the reason I've done it with black shirts, because he reminds me of the Mosley lot in a different way. But he's an idiot. But what's going to happen in England? I'll tell you what's going to happen in England. He's going to give power to all these mayors. Already in the UK, we have 15 Muslim mayors, and many of them don't even speak English. We also have people in Parliament, in the Labour Party and in the Greens, who stood in regard to what's happening in another country, free Palestine and all this crap, when they're supposed to be running the government for the UK people. You give this money to them mayors, and you think they're going to do a lot for the whole of the population of their borough, of their whatever it is they look after? Or do you think they're going to look after their own? They have a track record, because look what's happened in places like Bradford and Rochdale and these kind of places. And don't they understand that the more power they give, the more they want? He just doesn't understand. And I think most of the English people don't understand what's going on. Look at what's happened all over Europe. Look what happened. You are now in the same position that Lebanon were in between 1971 and 73, when exactly the same thing. People from that culture were invited in. They were supposed to integrate. Within 3 or 4 years, it took longer here, but over there they took the place over, and now it's an Islamic country, virtually. Okay? And that's what's happening here. It's got to stop. It has to stop. And worst of all, it's a radical. It's the Islamists. They're doing it because they're hell-bent on taking over the world. There's only one religion, they say. And that's theirs, not yours. So, and we've now, I'm not going off subject because I believe this man here will pander so much to them that the things that will happen quicker. I believe that Andy Burnham has got no cojones. I believe that he just wants to be liked. And that's not the right way to be for a Prime Minister of a country that's in dire need of being sorted out. Now, I have my rant because I've been on this earth a long time. I've seen my country, which I've left, go to the dogs. To go so far down that it's laughable. And we're not alone. It's happened in France, it's happened in Belgium, Holland, Germany. Malmo. Look at Malmo, it's virtually run by Muslim gangs. I don't specifically mean that every Muslim's like that, because there isn't. A couple of my heroes, Zia Yusuf, Ben Habib, Taz Majari is his name. There's so many that have come and have made a better life, did what they came for. But now what's followed behind is the worst of the worst. Anyway, so Andy Burnham, for me, is not the person. He should not be greeted with open arms and laughing and joking and I'm a nice man, because he said nothing of substance, nothing at all of substance. And all he's going to do is show his face and everybody's going to like him. That's all he wants, and I'm the top man. He will not face up to any crisis. He doesn't want direct conversation. And all the interviews that he's going to give on this tour will be choreographed. The questions will be asked by people who've already been, first of all, quizzed what they're going to ask. The journalists will only be allowed to ask questions that they've applied to ask, no more. It's all smoke and mirrors. Mr. Snake Oil Salesman is on the go. And after this one, probably he'll do the European tour and try and get some gigs abroad for him and Ange. I might joke, but you have to make light of these things if you can, because if you don't, it will destroy you. Your country is on the way out. So think on everybody. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm fine. I'm old now. I probably haven't got that much longer to live on this earth. But your children and your grandchildren are the people that you should be thinking of right now. And finally, just the last thing that I want to talk about is people like Bin Face and all these other stupid people that get up and expect people to vote for them. Now, I'm going to say this. I sit here in Spain, and believe me, Spain's not squeaky clean. There's a lot of corruption that goes on, and but that's their business. I'm only worried about what happens in Britain, although I live in Spain and I abide by Spanish law, which I should, which is far easier to do than it is in the UK. But anyway, I don't want to diverse on this. You see all these crazy people standing up with funny coloured hair and wearing masks and stupid names, and the people over here, who are probably one of the youngest democracies, look at them and they start laughing. You allow this to happen? These are the people that you have in your government? It's crazy. It shouldn't be allowed. Serious people, standing in front of serious people with this stupidity. You say that's, oh, it's because it's a democracy and it's freedom of this or freedom. No, your freedoms have been taken away bit by bit by bit by bit. And one of the things that I believe in is that if you stand for office for an MP or any type of government role, you should be presentable, that the rest of the world can see that you are a serious person, not a man wearing a dustbin on his head. Absolutely stupid. And if you vote for him, you're just as stupid as he is. You're not making a statement. And I am biased because I believe there's only one party that can save the UK, which you all know I've said before, which I've been saying this. But anyway, that's it. That's it for today. I've had me rant. I've said what I feel. I've said what I think, and believe me, it's not going to be nice for the next few years. If they get to stay in without a mandate for the next 3 years, it's going to be absolutely awful. Okay, and I've got what, 9 days now? 9 days to my birthday. 73 years old, and what I've seen with these old eyes here, the world has gone mad, and the UK has gone down the tubes. And you know, you young people, you think you're very clever with all your hip stuff. Well, believe me, you're more foolish than anybody. You know, you're actually playing into the hands of the establishment by behaving the way you do. I could go on with another rant, but I'm not going to. I think that's long enough, don't you? So until the next time, it's Joel Git say, stay safe, and please share my videos, and you can see them on Rumble. Everybody goes to Rumble. I've got over 700,000 views on Rumble, this little old man here. And you've also got YouTube, and it's on Kick, somewhere else, Odyssey, something like that. Anyway, till next time, have a great time, enjoy yourselves while you can, and you have to go and find something you can do where you don't have to spend money, because that time's coming as well. Until the next time, it's the old good saying bye.